Well, howdy there folks, and welcome back to Dust Customs, the channel where we've got way too many of these things. Anyway, so where we're at this current stage is, this thing was meant to be getting painted this weekend, but it's not. The guy's just too busy coming into the Christmas period, and I didn't want to push him. I just said, look, let's just wait. So we're waiting. You know, fortunate for me in a way, it means I can spend a little bit more time on it and try and get it better. But in the meantime, you know, we've got that thing back there, the Baja, which we got driving last week or whenever that was. And it's, you know, a really big milestone for me. But we've also got this thing. Now, this is the Beetle pickup, and I'd have to say it's probably, you know, one of the favorite cars on this channel. And I'm gonna just try and spend a little bit of time and do a bit of work on it. Like, it's a progress that just slowly moves forward, this car. Let's flip you around and we'll just give you a bit of a rundown of where we're at. All right. So there it is. She's, you know, chopped and lowered and, you know, channeled and bobbed, and, you know, it's got a Mendiola True Track rear coilover suspension and a Subaru WRX STI engine that pushes out around 300 horsepower. So, you know, this thing, it's going to be a mighty weapon of a car when it's done, but there's a lot to do. You know, it's at this stage and I'm kind of slowly pushing forward, but I've got all these other, you know, projects that just take up my time. So what I'm trying to do today, if I can, there's a couple of little things that I'm not happy with about it. What I'd love to do is I want to get the, so this is going to be the tray, the rear tub. It's going to be kind of a style side, but because of the flare in these things, you know, kind of a step side. These are, of course, the front guards off an International AA110, a truck that I had earlier on my channel. Now, it all fits really good. I'm really happy with how it all goes together, but there's stuff I got to do, and without actually starting to tack things together, I'm never going to get this thing to see how it actually sits. So I'm just going to, you know, get some square stock and just kind of make a temporary, you know, temporary structure to kind of hold it up there and see if we can start building off that and actually make it into good. Anyway, in the meantime, there's kind of, yeah, there's a few dings and stuff in it that I might just try and straighten out a little bit before I put it together. I mean, these guards were all sandblasted and edge primed, so they're kind of good to go. They're good to work with, as with the rest of the car. A few other little things like, you know, this is a bit of an issue. I want to try and sort that. The other side's a lot better. And the other thing I don't like, I really like the roof, but it kind of has a peak in the middle. It kind of, yeah, it's hard to see it, you know, but it kind of comes up and then down. So I'm going to, you know, cut a bit out of the center and just try and bring that into itself. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff in this car, you know, like the dash was just horribly welded together. I might even just be able to weld and grind that up better than it was. There was a lot of body filler in it. You know, maybe I should just cut it all out and just put a flat panel in there. Yet to be seen, yet to be seen. So, in the meantime, let's see if we can start putting some of this together. So I got a couple of lengths of 1 inch or 25 mil RHS, or square stock as you guys call it. I just kind of, you know, massage that dent out from there. It's looking a lot better. And kind of, I'm not really sure how this is going to go together. I've had it kind of sitting there before, but I've never really actually, you know, modded it up to see what it looks like. I'll just, look, let's just get them sitting up there and see, you know, if we can make it look kind of like a pickup. Please excuse the background noise. I've got a industrial fan blowing some air in here because it is baking hot. Anyway, I'll put you guys up here and see if we can't have a bit of a look at, you know, what we're trying to achieve here. So Let me get a better angle. Maybe there. I'm gonna play around with propping this thing up, just trying to get it roughly in position. I'll be right back. Alright, so I've had it sitting like this in a previous video. We kind of got it, just sitting on the floor mocked up. So the main thing, the way I see it, is there's a body line. That body line there, which even though it's not great at the moment, I will make that body line great, needs to line up with that body line, and I think that needs to carry through to that front body line. Now if that sags in the back or whatever, it's going to look like a broke back. And you don't want it like up in the back. It's got to have a fairly, to me, a consistent line that way. The other thing is the line down the car. Like, how does that look? Are we happy with that? Like, it's a lot wider in the front than it is in the back. V-dubs, the Beetles were kind of like this, believe it or not. I haven't changed the track width. So obviously, like in a standard Beetle, that's how much your guard covers your wheel. And these are wide wheels. To fit them on a bug, you'd have to widen the guards 2 inches. So I'm thinking, look, we're somewhere along there. I'm just gonna get a big straight edge and we're gonna kind of try and mock up a height through there. Obviously this metal here, I can trim and roll that over. This, I've got to figure out what to do with all of that. But I'm just trying to, initially just get some width so we can start welding something together. If I can get a width between this point and that point, I can weld a bit of stock between there and just like hold it together. Like, let's just kind of get this thing actually, right now I could blow that over. So, all right, so, okay. Let's get that, let's get the straight edge and we'll just kind of have a look, down the body line. As you can see right now, she's just propped up on bits of wood, and the front is coming down a little bit more. I've got a narrowed beam that I made sitting in there for it. So it's actually going to be a bit narrower and a bit downer. But at this stage, I reckon if I line them body lines up, that's my goal. Alright, so what's this look like? So I've got that body line, and yeah, like I thought, she sags a bit in the rear. So, one more block in there, and even like to my eye, that feels better. Yeah, that's a lot better. It's a lot better. If anything, I can probably come up on both sides, front and back a little bit. I'll get some timber. Pretty happy with that. Let's have a look down it and we'll just see what you guys think. So you can see to the eye, that just kind of looks good actually. It looks good. So I've got this old body line here that just gives me that little gap in between the cab and this. I'm thinking I'm going to leave it for now. So at this stage I've got like plenty of tyre clearance at the back, but at the front, you know, that's getting kind of tight there. So I think as I lean that top out where I want it, you know, as I lean that top out, it actually gives me the tyre clearance I need there. So maybe I just jam something up in there that gives me that clearance. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Scanning, scanning. Oh, try this. Pretty sweet. See, here's what I'm thinking. Like I could put a tack right there where I want it and just lock that in place so it's kind of, I might just do that. The reason I've got the engine in, and I just want to, everything I build, I want to make sure it clears. I don't want to have to come back at it and like oh, that didn't fit. You know, as you can tell, there's not going to be, you know, I mean, my bed can sit here. There's not going to be much of a tray in this thing, but hey, Beetle ute. Right, let's get a couple of tacks on that. And then we can do what I was thinking is I could do a measurement from center to out, cut a bit of stock, and like, start welding up a box of some description out of square tube and try and make it fit. I'm thinking square tube under this lip. You can see the tyre clearance in there. I think I'm going to have, you know, enough. I mean, this suspension is going to be stiff, like I'm talking real stiff. So I think we're going to be fine. I think I could just, looking down there, I could just roll that out. I mean, every bit I come out, yeah, I can definitely bring that out a bit more. So how am I going to set that? Let's see if I can figure something out. So, if I can... The reality is that wants to be out there. honest, don't know how that's going to work or look, but hey, a couple of tacks aren't going to hurt anyone. Don't blow holes in everything. Oh yeah, that looks good. Let me show you. So you can see that body line just, boom, just tucks in directly, like it's just almost like it was made for it. It's going to be good. So now that that's tacked, I should be able to take these blocks out and I can set them up on the other side. How can I hold, I mean I can leave the back on that for now and I'll match the same on the other side so I get the same height. Let's try that. All right, so we've encountered our first issue. That side fits great. This side, not so much. It's hitting the tyre for some reason, and I do not know why. I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I'll set a straight edge through the middle. Oof. So I can measure off both sides and see, like, because I have no idea where the back's sitting at this stage. I'll give that a crack. So everything measured the same, but this one just would not fit. It was hitting the tyre. You can see I set the straight edge up there and I measured across, and yeah, I needed to come across 30 mil, but you know, at this point it was hitting the tyre. So I think maybe this is the one that had kind of quite a bad ding just there. So I'm just kind of trying to gently, when I say gently, I mean forcefully, kind of, maybe not that forcefully, just get it out a bit. No, kind of rolling the guard, but on the ground. And let's see if that looks like it's kind of. Might have done something. That can definitely, that there looks like it needs to go out. I mean, that could be all it is, you know. I'm sure what I just did something, so let's put it back on and see if that fits. Well, that was super smooth. No, not at all. Look, we've got issues. Are they fixable? Oof, I hope so. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. There's something weird offset thing. Maybe it's just the guard, the ding in the guard is kind of pushed it in more. I'll flip you around and help, see if you know, see if you can figure out what's wrong with it. So this side, perfect. It just looks good, you know. The other side, so what I did, obviously, yep, got the straight edge through, centered. You know, and by figuring out where one side kind of wants to sit, you know, it's just a matter of measurements to figure out where the, you know, the other side kind of wants to sit. Now, obviously, this has got me crushed up against 15 other things, and I probably should have moved it over a bit further before I started on this, but, you know, now we're kind of propped up on bits of wood and, you know, all kinds of stuff, just trying to make this thing work. The biggest issue I'm facing is like there, I've got, you know, I've got clearance, like that clears. That side, not so much. I've measured the whole body, nothing's out of square, like nothing's measured off every kind of point I can, and all I can think of is that it's somehow diving in there, but it's not. It doesn't look it. Like it looks straight. You know, if I push that in where I want it to go, I'm on the wheel, I'm on the tyre. Whereas the other side is not. Somehow I've got to figure out how to keep that in, and then maybe I can pull the back out a bit. Of course, you know, nothing in this shop's level, so the floor's not level, so the car sitting on the unlevel floor is not going to help me out. But these are all just problems that we're going to have to sort out. We will sort it out. Like, it might be, maybe there's more roll in that side. Maybe when I welded that side of the car together, it's got more roll in it. Who knows? Like, it's a bit kind of... I did just make it, you know. Like, does that side come in more than that side? It all measures good. So the next step on this thing, obviously I'm just trying to get it kind of mocked up. You know, for the first time actually seeing how it actually is going to fit. How does it properly fit? You know, like, I've had it kind of sitting there roughly before, just on props, but now I'm looking at it, you know, how it actually fits. And I've got to say I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously there's issues to sort out, like what am I going to do for tail lights, you know? What am I going to do for tail lights? Give me some ideas. Running boards. Obviously this needs running boards. It's going to have, you know, something that kind of tucks around there. And move a bit of stuff out of the way and we'll just have one last look at it. Well, there it is. You can see the rear wheels fairly well centered in that rear opening. I could bring it forward a bit, you know, that's something I could do, bring it forward a bit. That might give me a bit more clearance on the other side that I'm struggling with. By bring it forward, I mean, you know, cut some of that so that comes forward. There is room in the back there and it gets kind of wider as it goes back. So, you know, there is, maybe that's a potential. Maybe that's something I need to look at. You know, I've got plenty of clearance to the motor here. Maybe that's something I need to look at, you know. Anyway, let me know what you think. Send us a message. I'm all up for good ideas. I think that's going to be it for me tonight. And, you know, hopefully I'll catch you next time. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys soon.